Flosstube, Stephanie here, Miss Oh So Crafty. Welcome to my Flosstube video number 17. Today is Sunday, September 4th. How is everybody doing? It's only been like, I finished filming my last video last night, but I lost some of the footage, so I'm trying to recreate now. And what I'm going to do today is share some Mirabilia Pattern Stash, and that's it. Just stash. No FOs, no whips, just stash, Mirabilia. So if that's your thing, I hope you enjoy. I do have quite a few patterns, and they're all in here. This nice box that I got from Michael's, I think. It's got a nice buckle on it and handles, which is cool because it is pretty heavy. I mean, you can see it's a decent size. So I have all my patterns in here organized. The box is not quite tall to store them upright, which is what I wanted, but it works. So I'll be right back. Okay, first I want to show you my Leilani, the hula dancer. This is actually a freebie available from Witchelt. So if you like it, go to their website and see if you can find it. I got this at the Mirabilia Minions Retreat. And then everything else is sort of organized topically. So we'll start with the fairy type stuff. Here is Forest Goddess. I just love her. The greens and the pinks. Oh, she's so pretty. I plan to stitch her in a pale green opalescent fabric. And I really look forward to stitching her one day. Here is Fairy Flora. This one reminds me of Shakespeare, Midsummer Night Dream, Queen of the Fairies, Titania. I think she's really pretty, but I won't stitch her on that barnwood linen. It'll have to be like a dark blue or a dark green or something like that. Something suitable for nighttime. I think she's really pretty. I love those pinks in her dress and then the darker fuchsia roses at the bottom. Just gorgeous. Here is the Midsummer Night Fairy. I stitched this one, well, I finished it this year in the springtime, which is gorgeous. Although this one, it has more back stitching than any other Mirabilia one I've stitched, and I've done around 7 or so, maybe 8, so yeah. A lot of metallics in here, blending filament, but it was worth it in the end. Here is Fairy Moon. This is a big one. It won't fit on a fat quarter of 32 count fabric, so I bought a fat quarter of 36, and I'll have to do a conversion on the beads, which is not exactly a big deal. Another light just came on. The electrical in my house is kind of weird sometimes. Sorry. Anyway, so it won't be hard to convert though, because they're just like regular size 11 beads called for, and I'll convert them to size 15. The Northern Expressions Needlework has really excellent conversion charts on her website, so yep. Here is Moonflowers. I just love this one. I'm going to stitch her in a pretty purple fabric, something dark enough that the moon will pop but not too dark. And I want to hang her in my bedroom. I think she's just lovely. I love the colors in here, the pinks and the the blues and the purples, and the stuff draping off the moon. Oh, I just love that. Here is the August Peridot Fairy. This one I got for my sister. Her birthday's in August, so I will stitch her for her one of these days, maybe next year or something. Here is Lily of the Woods. This one I got for the cherry blossoms in there because I've got cherry blossoms growing all around my neighborhood, so she could be like my neighborhood fairy. I don't know about the colors in her dress, but I'll have to do a floss toss and see these colors in person. Oftentimes the patterns of these photos just don't do them justice. Here is the Feather Fairy. I love her. I think she's so sassy, and I love the blues and the greens and everything, and her feather skirt. I look forward to stitching her. I might put her in my sewing room. I don't know. Although I plan to put Petal Fairy in my sewing room, and I don't know if I'll be able to go through with it because she's just so gorgeous. I feel like she should be in a place that gets, more. I don't spend that much time in my sewing room, so maybe I'll put her in a more public area of the house. Here is Titania. This one is a pair to Midsummer, and she's on my short list. So I do have some fabric to stitch her on. Actually, I have fabric for most of these. But I pulled some fabric from my collection just to show you the ones for my short list. So this is Silk Weaver Sparkling Sundown 32 Opal Lugana. Pretty like grapefruit kind of color. I think she'll look nice on there. I'll have to do a floss toss though to make sure nothing gets lost. Here is the Fairy Roses. I think she's gorgeous. I love those wings. They're so big, so many colors, so detailed, and the roses that are like draped all across her dress. So pretty. Here is, okay, so now we're moving into mermaids. So here's the Mermaid of the Pearls. This one is also on my short list, and I do have some fabric for her. Right here. This is Splash Belfast Linen by Picture This Plus, and I think she will look gorgeous on it. I think she'll just like, that's better. So it's like a deep sea blue, and she's got this trail of pearls that she's holding, and I feel like it'll just pop on this blue fabric. I'll probably stitch this one after I finish with Aphrodite, which I plan to start soon, but I guess this is a little out of order. Here's Fairy Ideal. And this one is also a big one. Also will not fit on the back order of 32, so I got this for it. Edinburgh Enchanted Forest 36 count linen. I think she'll pop on there. Oh. Yeah. This one, short list. Maybe I'll start her next year. I don't know. We'll see. Here is back to mermaid. So here is Mediterranean. This one I stitched, I guess, last year, and I did a blonde hair conversion on her. Love how she turned out. Planning to frame her this month. Here is Aphrodite. This one is on my extremely short list. I'm planning to start her in a week or so, and I'm going to be stitching her on this fabric here. It's an ombre effect, light blue to dark blue, and I'm going to put the shell on the darker part of the fabric and the top of her on the lighter part of the fabric. So that will be fun, and I hope to make some good progress on her this year. Usually the mermaids don't take that long to stitch, so we'll see. Here is Mermaids of the Deep Blue. I stitched this one. It was actually my first Mirabilia, and the beading just like, wow. Talk about diving in the deep end. I wasn't very experienced with beading at the time, but I did get through it eventually, and she's framed and everything. I love these two. They have a special place in my heart, being my first mirror and everything. Here is Siren and Shipwreck, which I just finished recently. Did a red hair conversion on her. Love her. She might be my favorite mermaid so far. Here is Enchanted. This one I've been working on doing a conversion of the Beads and Treasures, because if you just kit this up with all the mill haul stuff is called for, those Beads and Treasures are going to run you like $150. Now, I don't know about you, but I personally do not have that sort of money to spend on beads. So, you know, if you just go and look at the Swarovski crystals, and you can convert them and buy like the teardrops and the bicones and everything for like 1/3 of the cost that Mill Hill is charging. So, I do recommend that route if you are cost conscious, like I am. The only thing is it calls for like these little 4-petal tiny blue flowers and 22 of them. I couldn't find a suitable substitute, so I'm going to have to go to the craft store, go to the bead store, and see what I can find when I'm ready to stitch this. I still need fabric for it, so it's not like a super high priority. Although I did go ahead and order those beads, the treasures and everything, from fusionbeads.com. So here is Waiting for Ships. This one is very old. I love her tail, the blues and the greens. but not too fond of her hair. I just feel like it's boring. It's almost all that one like dark brown color, so I might redo the hair. We'll see if I ever stitch it. And here is the Shimmering Mermaid. This one I saw at the retreat and I loved it. I love the compass on there and the border and everything, and the purple and the mosaic effect of her tail and her wistful expression. Really pretty. Need fabric for her too. Here is Queen Mermaid. This one a pretty recent acquisition. Found it at the LNS in Washington State, mail order. Anyway, so she is really pretty. I don't know about the little box she's holding though. I feel like it's kind of nondescript. So if I ever stitch this, I might alter that. I don't know. We'll see. But again, need fabric for this one. Here is Emerald Mermaid. I have stitched this one. She was my second mermaid and she's done, framed, everything. She was a lot of fun. Very quick, at least compared to like Mermaids in the Deep Blue. She's not that big, 14 by 8.5, you know? And she was a lot of fun. I like her hair too. She's kind of like a redhead, auburn hair. All right, moving into like the historical stuff. So here we are with ancient Greece. We've got Athena, goddess of wisdom. I've stitched this. I've showed it on my channel before. It is one of my favorite FOs, and I love everything about it. The colors, the details, the theme, what it represents, wisdom. I mean, this is something I continually aspire to be wise, you know? So I love this, and if my house were burning down, I would definitely grab this one off the wall. Here is Ashley's Roses. This one, definitely vintage look, maybe like 1930s or something. She's pretty. I don't know though if I'll ever get around to stitching that one. Here we go, Stargazer. This is more of a Victorian vibe, and I definitely want to stitch her. I want to put her in my kitchen, which has like a Victorian flair to it since I redid it, and there's a lot of blue in my kitchen. I have a blue pearl countertop, so I feel like this one with the blue and the gray and everything will look awesome. And I did order some fabric for it. In the picture of this plus sale, hopefully I'll get it one of these days. Within the next month or two, so yeah. I would like to stitch her maybe like next year. Here is the Silver Moon Tea. This one has like a nice Art Deco vibe to it. This one, I don't know. I got it to stitch in my kitchen, but that was in my old place, and it wouldn't look right in my kitchen now. So I don't know what I would do with this. Maybe I could put it in the dining room or the breakfast room or something. It's not very big. It's like 8 inches square, so maybe one day. And I do have fabric for it. I bought this Violet Mist linen, which is what it's called for. I very rarely ever stitch the Mirabilias on the fabric that's called for, but I thought this one was very pretty, so I went for it. This one is sort of like a Renaissance look to it. This is the Kiss. If I ever stitch this, it will definitely be a conversion for like hair color to be more like me and my husband. And I saw this done with the dress in blue, and that was so gorgeous, so I might see if I can do that if I ever stitch this one. Here we go with Angels. So this is Caring Wings. I think she's so pretty. I love the little dove and everything. The only thing I'm not sure about is this like circle behind her head. What is that? I don't know. I might take that out. The green circle. But other than that, I love like her pink dress and everything, and her wings are really pretty, so. Here is Archangel. This one I will stitch for my son when he's a bit older, I think. I mean, he's only 2. There's plenty of time for him to appreciate something like this, but he is gorgeous. And you don't see a whole lot of depictions of men in cross stitch. So, at least not of the style that I like the elegant style, I guess. So, and okay, now moving into seasonal. So here we are with Halloween. This is Cleo, and this is Emmy. So I'm planning to stitch them together on one piece of fabric, back to back, like hunting partners. Wouldn't that be pretty? I need some fabric for it though. Here is Gigi and Anna. So I'll be stitching these together on one piece of fabric, walking towards each other. And Gigi is indeed on my short list. So here's the fabric. It's called Nyx. This pretty like gray, a little bit of blue in there. It's 32 count Lugana from Under the Sea Fabrics. And I think that'll be gorgeous. So I will start Gigi this month, and I mean, it's not very big, just about 8 inches square, so maybe I'll be able to finish it this year, certainly next year. Okay, Christmas. So here is Royal Holiday, a Christmas Queen. I have stitched this one. I did her on a dark green sparkly fabric, and I love her so much. She's one of my favorite like Christmas decorations. I'll have to show her in a few months here when Christmas rolls around. She's just gorgeous. It was a lot of work. I mean, it's a big pattern. There's a lot of whisper thread in there, but so worth it in the end. She's just completely regal, opulent, elegant, just all around gorgeous. Here is Blitzen. This was my first of the reindeer. Started him last December after Christmas, finished him this year, and he was definitely my entree into the the beginning of my love affair with these reindeer. I do plan to stitch most of them. So yeah, he's done. This one is done as well. This is Dancer. So he was a lot of fun too. Very blingy, or she, whatever. That's the thing about these patterns. They're small and they're quick, but they're like so blingy in the end. It's sort of like the potato chip equivalent to cross stitching. And here is Donner. I've got this one in progress. Hoping to finish him this year. Here is Dasher. I will definitely stitch this one next year. And hopefully some more besides. I don't own yet. So here's 4th of July, the Queen of Freedom. She's really pretty with the flag draped over her and the olive, I guess, leaves in her hair. And the Book of Justice. Love her. I'll probably stitch her one of these days, although I did use the fabric that I had earmarked for her for something else. I used it for Joan Elliott's Christmas Angel, which I don't regret. I mean, that Christmas Angel is so gorgeous, but this one is nice too. I'll have to find something good for her. And general season type stuff. So Maidens of the Seasons 2 and 1. I will stitch them together, adjoining. I think I have some antique white to stitch it on. This would be nice, but I've already done like Joan Elliott's seasonal fairies and everything, so it's not exactly a high priority. I'm not entirely sure where I'd put it in my house if I did stitch it. And here is the Autumn Queen. This one, I'm not sure if I'll ever stitch. The colors just aren't my cup of tea. But, I mean, she is pretty, of course, so. Yeah, the seasonal queens, like I said, I've stitched the seasonal fairies, so I don't think I'll be doing the seasonal queens. But, I mean, this is a nice pattern. Maybe I'll sell it or destash it or something. So, that's it for my Mirabilia Pattern Stash. I hope you enjoyed. It is quite a lot. So here's my box. It's empty now. Well, except for some working copies I made. So yeah, that's the way I do it. I make working copies and then I destroy them when I'm done. So I try to keep the original pristine. And I do have a whole lot more patterns, like non-mirrors. But I think I will share them on another day. So I'll see you soon. Ta-ta!